Today is an auspicious occasion for the Korean people. We're celebrating the 80th anniversary of Korean liberation from Japanese colonial occupation. One has to understand that Korea represents a 5,000-year civilization. And unlike many other civilizations that have been here for millennia, Korea is unique in that it had a founding vision where 홍익인간 ‘을 stated as a heavenly mandate for the Korean people that you shall live for the benefit of all of mankind. Unlike many nations, many ancient civilizations that use power and force to overcome their enemies and enlarge their empire, Korea never did any of that throughout its entire history. We have been a peaceful nation. We have been invaded more than 900 times, but staying true to the heavenly mandate of 홍익인간 to live for the benefit of humanity, we never attacked our neighbors. In the history of all these civilizations of the world, there is only Korea that stands out with this unique founding mandate of 홍익인간 to live for the benefit of all mankind. That is why throughout our history, our people had a tremendously high spiritual consciousness, looking for the truth to guide their people in times of trouble. We had welcomed all the world's religions onto this land. We had welcomed anyone who had wisdom to guide us and lead us to the path of realizing that vision of living for the benefit of all mankind. The history of Korea, modern Korea, starts in the 20th century. In 1910, we were on the verge of losing not only our nation, but our entire civilization that spanned 5,000 years. All the nations of the world that experienced colonialism, Korea experienced the most exploitative and most perverse form of colonialism, where its entire culture, its language, and its historic identity was trying to be completely eradicated by the Japanese Empire. Even though the leaders of our country have betrayed the Korean nation and the Korean people themselves, they rose up and they basically formed the Declaration of Independence that became the seed for the movement of liberation. My great granduncle was part of the crafting of the Declaration of Independence and was a key leader in this Hanmil movement. He had invested his entire fortune for the liberation of Korea. That is how much ownership he had in the future of Korea in the darkest hour of our history. My father, as a student in Japan, was imprisoned for his work in the independence of Korea. Throughout his lifetime, he had been imprisoned 6 times. 6 times. Unjustly for his convictions and especially for the work of unification. In 1991, at a perilous moment in the history of this peninsula, he opened the door to North Korea in 1991, although his entire life had been dedicated to fighting global world communism, and especially the regime of North Korea. As a private citizen, without the support or the protection of any nation, he visited North Korea. And in front of Kim Il-sung, he demanded that Kim Il-sung put down the Chuche ideology and open the door for the unification of the Korean Peninsula. For many North Koreans who were there, who eventually defected, later told me that they never saw anything like that in their life. In Korea, there's a saying, with sincerity you can move heaven. And it was the sincerity of his convictions, even willing to give up his own life to bring about unification, that he went and met with Kim Il-sung. That is the type of conviction and dedication and ownership of unification that my father and my great uncle exhibited. And that is the same conviction that I carry today. The most significant moment of our nation's history is today. For we stand at a crucial moment in our nation's history. And today the nation stands divided, left and right. Yet, through the Korean Dream vision and the unification work we're doing, we're bringing the nation of South Korea back together once again, and to once again reinstill in the hearts of the Korean people the hope that they should have on this most sacred and precious day, 80th anniversary of Korean liberation. You are the owners of this generation that has rekindled the DNA of 홍익인간 in each and every one of yourselves. You are carrying the spirit of our ancestors that led the independence movement and came to the point in 1945 in which we stand today, 80 years later. 아니에요! That is why this is the most important moment in the history of our people and our civilization. For this will be the hour of our transformation, where once again our nation shall be whole, where we will realize the dream of our ancestors to build a model nation rooted in 홍익인간, our heavenly mandate as a providential people, to build a modern nation that could be the model to the world. 그런 나라를 만들 거요.
그런 나라를 만들 수 있으니까요.
만들 수 있어요. You have to realize the providential moment in which we live. All the currents of heavenly fortune is sweeping along this peninsula. You have to understand that the creation of two Koreas, South and North, were created to claim which ideology, which vision will become the vision that unites the nation of Korea. But however, through our work, through the Korean dream, we have won that fight. 통일했습니다. North Korea basically relinquished its claim over the unification issue, which means everything in the history, modern history of our nation. That is why I have challenged the current administration to claim the vision of the Korean dream for South Korea, to do away with the Ministry of Unification so that we can establish a clear policy for the pathway for unification. And third, to have ownership over the young people, to have them realize the opportunities that unification could afford, both North and South Korea. Do you want the next generation of Koreans to be the ones that ultimately fulfills the destiny of our people that could not be fulfilled in 1945? 원하고 싶으세요? This is where the Korean dream comes alive. I often quote Genghis Khan, if one person has a dream, it is but a dream. But if everyone can share in that dream, it becomes a reality. If every Korean and every Korean family, from the South to the North to the diaspora, has ownership over the Korean dream, unification will come. And the dawn of our people and our civilization that should have shined in 45 will finally be realized 8 decades later by all of you who take ownership over this dream. 그러면 주인 되고 싶으면 내가 챌린지 해야 돼요. 우리 아버님이 아주 만들었어요. 그 단어. 그 단어는 내가 주인 될 거다. 다른 사람 아니고 내가 주인 될 거다. Korean dream 이루고 싶으세요? So in conclusion, the most important thing for our nation today, like I said, North Korea already relinquished its claim for the vision for the unification of Korea. We have won the fight. South Korea should stand up and claim the Korean dream as its national policy for the unification of Korea. Through my GPF work around the world, you have millions of people who are supporting the Korean dream, who are standing with the Korean people. We are the only nation that was unable to unlock the shackles of colonialism and the Cold War of the 20th century. They realized, the world realized, it is our prerogative, it is our moral prerogative to ultimately fulfill what our ancestors wanted to fulfill, that every other nation in the world was able to fulfill. That this is our time and our destiny So as we plant and spread the seeds of the Korean dream to our neighbors and our neighbors' neighbors, those of you who are going to walk as an owner, putting everything on the line for the unification of North and South Korea, stand up with me. 일어나세요. And say 아주.
그리고 아주 하고 외쳐주시기 바랍니다.
아주.
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 감사합니다.